to another episode of Rock the Crown. I'm Nafisa Fudail, and I'm here with my co-hosts, of course, Naima, Nefertari, and Daia. And today we have a special guest I'm going to introduce you all to in just a second. We have a very relevant and exciting topic today. Today's episode is the new digital currency. What and where are we headed? Yes, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency today. We're going to hopefully inform you all, let you know what it is, let you know how the distinctions and how it gets started. We're going to let you know the basics of cryptocurrency. So when you leave this show, you can get on the internet and start buying you little pieces. If you got $1, $2, $10, $1,000, you can buy you little pieces of cryptocurrency so you can start riding this wave of economic progression. We want to get the money. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So to get started, Crown Nation, I want to introduce you to my special guest today, Mr. Aaron Khan. He is the founder and CEO of Blackstone Wealth Builders. He has a degree in finance from Howard University. He served as a financial advisor to different businesses and individuals in several different capacities over the years. He also has assisted in community-based finances. This definitely is his area. And recently, with all the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, he has gotten involved and really developed a passion in this area. So he is here today to share with you all this information. So I'd like everyone to join me in welcoming Mr. Aaron Khan. Yes, yes. And we're going to jump right in and get it started today, ladies, and everyone out there in Crown Nation. We're going to ask the question, cryptocurrency, why do we care?
Okay.
We're going to ask that question.
Okay.
So first of all, before I get to you, Aaron, I want to let the audience know why we chose this topic. We chose this topic because it's been all over the news lately with Bitcoin and the what's the Tesla's guy name again? I'll keep on
Elon Musk.
Yes, Elon Musk. Snoop Dogg. We got our celebrities and rappers jumping on board. We got Akon establishing his own cryptocurrency coin. So we got all these people, and we got to find out what is this whole cryptocurrency about so that we can ride the wave and not miss out on investing in this money and on the transition to this money. That's why we decided to have this show today. And that's why we decided to bring it to you. But let me ask Mr. Khan, let me ask you, why is cryptocurrency important to us?
Okay, thank you so much, Nafisa and ladies. I really appreciate you having me on. You all are so dynamic. I've been knowing you for quite a while and what you do in the community for and what you do for all the ladies being mothers and dynamic women. So I got to give a kudos to you and thank you so much for having me on. So why do we get into this space called crypto? So I normally say, why not? It's at the end of this webinar, what's going to happen is that you're going to understand quite a bit about Bitcoin. You're going to be chomping at the bits, just like I did when I first heard about it. So the reason, there's several reasons why to get Bitcoin. Simply, it's the new money. So if you go on the internet, you Google it, it's the new money. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But we're here to help you feel comfortable, why you should have it. We want you to get rid of all the myths. We want to help you just understand how you can grow your legacy. So I'm gonna let you ask me some more questions. I'm gonna get into depth on why we should have it. But simply put, it's the new money worldwide. Ching ching.
New money. You know, I love the new money. And I have to give a personal plug to my New Money Monday show for y'all to tune in for further updates on cryptocurrency. That's just my little personal plug on that. But thank you so much for that introduction. And it's just such a great thing, you know, that we, is particularly when I say we, I'm talking about black folks, right? I'm talking about black Muslims. Make no mistake about it. Anyone can benefit from this, but I'm talking about particularly about us, because a lot of times we get so engrossed in the routine of life and trying to survive that we miss a lot of stuff that's going on in a larger economic society that we can really benefit in order to create generational wealth. And cryptocurrency is what one of those things, right? So it is something that you should have in your financial economic arsenal. And to get started with the basics, we're going to talk about what is cryptocurrency. What is it?
Okay. So cryptocurrency simply is digital money. So it's transferred to you. It's normally passed on peer to peer between me and you, me and my sister, me and my brother, me and my cousin, me and my uncle. Now the grocery stores. Now you can go buy cars. Now you can buy houses. Now you can use it as a what you call. Let me go back. Bitcoin is the only asset. This is including stocks. This is including gold. This is including silver and real estate. It is the only currency that has stored value, which means that you can get it and hold it. And that's what everybody should do. You should not be using it, going buying other things unless you absolutely have to. It's also a medium of exchange. So now you can buy goods and services. And it's an appreciated value. So no other currency, no other property or investment can say that. Um, so, now you can go through, you mentioned companies, we got Tesla, we got PayPal, we got Cash App. Uber just came out with an announcement last week that they're going to start using using crypto. But I'm going to say, do not use your crypto, use your cash. Keep your crypto for that so that you can build a legacy, right? You're building a legacy for your children, you're building a legacy for your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. So crypto, a little bit about me. I'm gonna go back again because I got to explain this. So I've always been big on insurance and helping people with term insurance. What happens when you die? How you can leave a legacy to your family. Then I'm like, no, how can we use a legacy, have a legacy right now? So cryptocurrency and its monetary value, monetary energy is the only asset that that is going to increase. It's going to explode 10, 15 times. So it's still not too late to get into it. Um, I got into it last year. Now I am obsessed with it. So right now, this is the first time in my life, and I'm 54 years old, that I believe I will be a millionaire within 12 months with cryptocurrency. And this is the new money. This is the new investment. Crypto and Bitcoin has created more millionaires and more billionaires in the last 2 years than any time in history. So it is that asset that has been created, better than land that was stolen, better than the human resources that was free. Crypto
Right,
is that asset that will be here for 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years. It's
right,
better than gold. So we'll
right,
get into a little further. I mean, you
right.
might have to stop me
We
because
see
I'll
you
go
are
on and
very
on.
excited.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
You're excited about this whole thing and getting involved, and it's just a great thing. And what people really need to understand is most of us are used to, and I just want to let people know about kind of like the basic differences of what we're talking about here. That most of us are used to digital currency to a certain extent, right? So you have your credit card and you go to the store and you put your credit card in there to pay, or your debit card in there to pay for your bills, right? That's taking place digitally, right? Even though the difference there is going through a bank or something like that, and then that bank is approving that particular transaction and then paying the, for example, if it's Aldi's or Kroger's, paying them. So it's going through someone, right? So most of us are familiar with that. Or when you pay somebody through Zelle, through your bank account online, or you make an online payment. Most of us are familiar with that in terms of that type of digital thing. And the difference with cryptocurrency, right? Number one, you're talking about currency, so it is an actual money, right? And it's digital money. It's digital money as opposed to a physical money. Like if you're in the US, your dollar bills or your quarters, those are physical money, right? And it's called fiat. The name of it is fiat. It's a physical money. If you're talking about the euro is a physical money. Pesos is physical money, right? As opposed to crypto, which is purely digital money. And every country has their own money, which is controlled and managed by that particular government. But with cryptocurrency, different types of cryptocurrency, right? The whole idea behind it is that it's not controlled by any one government, right? It's not controlled by any one government. Can you tell us a little bit more about this whole concept of what you hear terms like decentralization, centralization? How does that play into this whole cryptocurrency? What exactly does that mean?
Okay, so you just explained it with the centralization and decentralization. So the dollar bill controlled by the US government or whatever country that you're in, they control that money. So I believe that the dollar bill will never go away. But especially in these times with COVID and so forth and all the relief that we need, the US government has printed so much money that the US budget would never be balanced. It would never be balanced. And those that in the know, the big banks and government politicians, they're slow to adopt it, but the big banks are now coming in because people know that cryptocurrency is here to stay. So it is also that thing, as far as in the centralization of governments owning it, it creates inflation. Inflation is another tax, right? So with cryptocurrency, and I'm gonna specifically talk about Bitcoin because that's the grandfather of it all. So Bitcoin is the adopted currency around the world. And again, like we said, it's decentralized, so no government, no one controls it. Um, right now, it cannot be taxed. So that's a big thing. I always talk about legacies, and the main thing with legacies is not so much how much money you make, but it's how much you keep, how much you can save, and how much you can invest. So that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is the decentralized money that we all use peer to peer. Like I mentioned before, we buy goods, we keep it in a store of value, and we trade it amongst each other, and it's never taxed. So going back to the centralized governments, so I know that there are countries like Greece who've taken their fiat currency off. In 2016, the Prime Minister of India, his name is Mr. Modi, he actually took away the $500 and the 1,000 denominations of what's called rupees. And what that did, it would destroy 86% of the population, over a billion people. It destroyed the currency within 86% of their currency in their country. So many people suffered. They never even had the chance. The people never even had the chance to go to the bank to take their money out and exchange it. That's what happens with a centralized government. But with a decentralized, we can do whatever we want. Nobody watches it. It's not attached to your name. It's attached by a code, series of numbers and letters. Now, when I mention the code, many people get scared. They get very scared about codes because it's computers and you get a lot of seniors and people just they're just very scared. So earlier we were talking offline. Naomi was talking about her sons. So the young people love it because cryptocurrency, decentralization, and tokens, we're in that age of information and computer age where they just used to playing video games and all that. So this type of thing is exciting for them. And so there's so many young people making millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, sitting at home in jeans and t-shirts. So the world and decentralization where the people control the money. I did a webinar, Facebook Live 2 weeks ago called We the People, right? And this was regarding specifically Black people and how we can get together and how we can get into this crowdfunding space and this Bitcoin space, this decentralized space, how we can increase our wealth amongst each other. And what happens? One of the Facebook, they actually would not let me put it on because the information is so powerful. So the centralized governments and those powers that be, they don't want the common people like you and I to act. I'm sounding like Malcolm X. You and I. So so they don't want us to grow that wealth and become that strong people that we were and that we still are. We just don't know it yet, right?
Right.
And so
Right. Right.
it's just, Black people. Let me finish this. Black people have become minimalists as far as investing and savings.
Right.
Now we have over $1.5 trillion that money flows through our communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
$1.5 trillion is greater than there are only 16, less than 16 countries have more income than that, right? So now with Bitcoin, we get into the space. Now we can start trading with one another like we used to do and bartering like we used to do. That's all Bitcoin is, peer-to-peer and a decentralized, which means no government. The word no taxation is illegal, but there's no taxation, right? So that's basically what it is.
Right. And on the taxation thing, I would say there's no taxation right now because they're gonna try to find a way to
well, yeah, we can get into that deeper.
Yeah,
That'd be another conversation.
You know how I am. There's this. Don't. Yeah. Okay. So the main thing that people want to realize is, I'm the tax professional.
Yes.
Is that you don't have to be afraid of this when it comes to taxes and people. I hear different people talking about the whole tax thing, but you don't have to be afraid of taxes. If you know the rules, then you know how to benefit the rules and reduce your taxes. Okay, so yeah, so that's another thing. And another thing I wanted to say too, the reason why this is so powerful is because, and the reason why this came about, understand this, how this all really came about was because you remember the last financial crisis. Y'all remember the last financial crisis, 2008, 2009, and I'm not sure if y'all remember, but you remember Greece and maybe a few other European countries during the financial crisis, they shut down their banks. So people were lined outside the banks trying to get in to get their money. People were lined up at ATMs trying to get their money, and the government wouldn't let them get their money. And then they started letting them put a limit on how much money they can get. They can only get €100. Then they can only get €300 a day. So with all of this types of control going on who's getting what and how can I get access to my money and why do I have to go through the bank? The bank is controlling my money. Because keep in mind, when you deposit money into the bank then takes your money and uses it and exchanges it on the foreign exchange market, which is a different type of thing. And now a lot of these governments have started to invest in Bitcoin. So they're taking your money that you're putting in the bank and already using it to get their investments and then pay you a percentage point of a percentage point of a percentage point, if at all. So that's something to keep in mind. So what happened was there was, and I don't even know if this person was a man, a female, or a group. Nobody really knows. But Satoshi Nakamoto came up with this idea of this whole cryptocurrency and particularly founded Bitcoin, wrote a paper about it, and then established a coin, Bitcoin, right? To basically say, hey, this is a way for you all, like Aaron said, to control your money. You don't have to go through a bank to manage it. You don't have to go through a bank. And not only that, but it's transparency, because there is what's they're called a ledger that's created with every time you use Bitcoin that people can access. It's not this whole secrecy around what they actually doing with your money and not telling you this with your money and you being able to access their money. It's not this whole secrecy around that. So that's when he came up with Bitcoin. And keep in mind that Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency. There are thousands of cryptocurrency coins.
Over 2,000, yeah.
Right, coins, right? Bitcoin is just like Aaron said, the grandfather of it, and the main one that people have looked to as the standard, the gold standard or the platinum standard for Bitcoin. That's why everybody is now starting to get into the space. So that's just something I wanted people to be, leery about. And a lot of times people use cryptocurrency and Bitcoin interchangeably, but really cryptocurrency is like the umbrella, and Bitcoin is just one particular coin, even though it's the grandfather, the foundation upon how everything was built. And let me ask you another question, Aaron, too, in terms of, you hear a lot about this blockchain and also these other currencies, Ethereum and Litecoin and all of that. So how does this whole blockchain, what does that mean as related to cryptocurrency? Like, how does that whole thing play in? Can you tell us a
Okay,
little bit about that?
so the blockchain is electronic. It's an electronic application. That's the simplest way I can do it. So
Right.
for the computer person or the lay person as well, it's just a computer application that stores your cryptocurrency in codes, numbers and letters. It's that simple. Um, there are other currencies, XRP, Ethereum, Litecoins, and so forth. Those are applications, software applications that are safe. Those are platforms that several companies and that are using now. And so all of these other, so those are the main three or four, and other currencies are coming and building even on top of those platforms to create security. You have security companies creating applications. Um, what else? So the blockchain is just a stored application where it's like the Federal Reserve Bank. It's where the cryptocurrency is actually um, laid upon or is transmitted. So when we use our debit cards goes from this particular bank ABC, to my bank at ABC, it goes through this application. So that's what the blockchain is. It's the application where your money is stored and uh, what's the word I want to use? Transferred to one another.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, and also too, where they say that your all the transactions, are recorded.
Are
Yeah,
recorded. There's
yeah, yeah.
like you mentioned
All
before.
transactions are recorded, and there's not like a central place. This is another thing that I want people to keep in mind too, because when you say cryptocurrency or Bitcoin is decentralized, there's not one central place or central server that all these transactions are recorded on.
Right.
The main thing about they have all these servers in companies around the world where all this information. So there's not one particular place or one particular company that controls all these different servers, right? So that's why they see decentralized, because there's not one government or one company that controls every single aspect of it. So this is almost, I say almost because we only know that God is the only absolute, right? It's almost impossible to um, hack into and take over the whole system. You will have to have all these different um, entities and servers and that's all around the world cooperating at the same time, doing the same thing. And it's almost impossible because they have them all over and they're not controlled by any one person or any one group of people or any one company. So that's why a lot of people really love um, Bitcoin. And even governments like Venezuela. Venezuela, we all know those of us because we're world citizens, right? We all know that Venezuela always has a problem. They're always talking about their currency. In Brazil, they're always talking about their currency falling, their currency becoming worthless. So now they have adopted Bitcoin, right? Because the government can't control whether it goes up or goes down, whether we're going to print more money and make it worthless or not. They can't do that. So that's something to keep in mind too when we're talking about this. So I guess the one thing that people really want to know is, how do I invest? Because I heard Bitcoin is up to $55,000, and I don't have $55,000 to drop on one coin. So how do we invest? How do we get involved? How do we get started?
Okay, let me say you don't have $55,000 yet,
Yeah.
but you will have it with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So, um, so the main thing is, first of all, before I even go there, I just want people to be very comfortable. Bitcoin is something that you're just not going to get just from 35 minutes, 40 minutes of listening to a presentation. It's something that you get involved with. And I like to tell people, if you don't know about it, just start. And so now I'm going to tell you how to start. So you mentioned earlier, if you got $5 or $10, the simplest way to get that I found to get Bitcoin is everyone now normally uses Cash App. Just about everybody has a Cash App. So you go in and you just purchase $10 worth of Bitcoin or $100 worth of Bitcoin, and then just watch it and get excited how it moves for you, right? So, um, and then what happens is, I like to say, just learn it while you're earning money, because it is a currency that is appreciating. And with many analysts around the world with major banks, Bitcoin has hit $57,000. I got up the other morning at 2:30 in the morning, and all I did was just check my app to see whether Bitcoin is, it's like an obsession now. So how do you get Bitcoin? The fastest and the easiest way I know is to go on your Cash App, uh, click on Bitcoin because it has stocks in Bitcoin. So you can just click on the Bitcoin button and it'll walk you through how to move, $10 or $100, whatever you have, into your Cash App. Now, so on this topic of how to get Bitcoin, I'm going to explain about wallets. I'm not sure if you wanted to ask me that later, but I'll take this time to go about wallets. So you're here, Bitcoin is stored in a wallet, just like you have money in your purse, just like you have money in your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
There are three types of wallets. So you have Cash App, which is what you call a hot wallet. The reason it's hot, you just put it in. Cash App, PayPal actually owns, it's like putting it in a ABC Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They're just housing your money. And so you don't own the keys. So if you don't have the keys, you don't have your cheese. So they actually have the keys, right? That's the terminology. They actually have the keys to your money. So they own your money. You're just letting them hold your money. So now then you have what you call a warm wallet, which is you get your keys, right? So there are 12 keys when you go into blockchain.com. I'm just giving y'all some ways to get it. Blockchain.com, Coinbase, um, what's the other? Gemini, I think that's it. And so those are just three. Coinami. There are other ones that you can go in and actually get. They'll give you 12 keys that are unique to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm advising you to do is never take your 12 keys and put them on your computer. Never put your 12 keys stored on your phone, because if you lose your phone, your computer goes down, you lost hundreds of dollars, $1,000, millions of dollars. A lot of people have lost their keys and have lost their money. It's their Bitcoin, but if you don't have your keys, you don't have your cheese, right? So that's a warm wallet. So it's very safe. You have your keys. The third wallet is a cold wallet. The cold wallet is is one of them is called Nano Ledger, or what's the other one that I use? It looks like a fob on your car, like an actual key. So this is where you move your money from Cash App or from blockchain, from Coinbase, Coinnob, and you move it into your actual cold storage. They call it cold. It's cold storage, like a U-Haul, indoor U-Haul, cold storage. And so you put your Bitcoin into that and you hold it. And so that way you actually control it. So, and the reason I'm mentioning these three, cold, warm, and hot wallets, is this. Cash App is good to get started because it's the simplest way to transfer your dollar bills to cash. I mean to Bitcoin. PayPal, if once you put your money on PayPal, you can't get it back. You can only exchange it for services. So I don't recommend um, to actually put your money in PayPal, even though they're using it. Visa is using it because Visa is getting all kind of fees for your money. So those are places where you're actually storing money, but you don't own your money. Not
Mm-hmm.
until you put it in that nano ledger or that fob. I'm just gonna say the fob. Not until you put it there do you actually own your keys. What I suggest is you write it down on cards. I have mine in three places. So I can't tell y'all where it is, but one of them is a safe. So, but that's how I have my key. So anything happens, my money, if I have an unfortunate accident where my house burns down, my keys are stored someplace, right? So um, that's the best way to do it. But the easiest way is to cash out. Um, Now, anybody in the Bitcoin and crypto currency space, we are so excited because it's just a way for individuals like ourselves that didn't come with a lot of money in our family histories. Some people have, but we're excited because it's an opportunity for us to even the playing fields, right? Um, I'm trying to calm down because I get so excited. So yo, I'm trying to compartmentalize this stuff
We
right here.
need more
So
hype. I need you. It's okay. Get
yeah,
hype.
okay. I'm just trying to compartmentalize. So um, anybody in the crypto space, they're more than willing to, they just give out information because they just want to see everybody grow. And so please, feel free, go to my page. I have wealth of information. It's an educational page. I'm not selling anything. The Blackstone Wealth Builders. So I use other people's YouTube channels just to because they've already created it and it's simple and I enjoy it. So if I enjoy it, I want to pass it on. Just like somebody got a nice dress that you guys have on, you tell each other where to get it from. So it's all
Right.
it is just sharing information.
Yeah. And
Okay.
thank you so much for that too, because it's important to know how to get started.
Right.
And one of the things too that I want people, and you brought up a very good point when you talked about the 12, your keys, and the code and the 12 code. People have to keep in mind that that is something that some people might view as a disadvantage or a con for cryptocurrency because again, one of the distinction is that there's no middle person, right? There's no middle person. So and there's no refunds. Okay, there's no refunds if you use Bitcoin. So you know how you might get your credit card or you might get your statement and then you'll see charges on there and you're like, oh, I didn't make this charge, or you might be dissatisfied with the service or they didn't deliver the service that they're supposed to deliver and you call your credit card company up or you call your bank and you say, no, I'm disputing this charge or I didn't make this charge, and they immediately refund you back your money and take it up with whoever you dealt with. It doesn't happen like that in Bitcoin. Okay, so once you transact something in Bitcoin, it's permanent. There is no one to reverse it or give you a credit. But that also means too that the likelihood of there being any fraud is significantly decreased. So that you won't have that issue. But if for whatever reason you do have an issue with something that you purchased, you are using Bitcoin, then you just have to take it up with whoever you purchased and they will have to do another transaction to basically give you that money back. But there is no one in between you and whoever you transacted that particular transaction with. So that's just something for people to keep in mind that can be a con. And also to the codes, because again, there's somebody, I think I forgot who, there was somebody in the news recently, and they just cannot find their 12 words or their 12 codes.
Right. Right.
And that's like they have like I think it was like 20 million in Bitcoin.
Oh,
They just can't find the daggone so nobody else has it. So if you don't safeguard it and put it up and put it in multiple places,
it's lost. Yeah.
it's gone. Nobody else has your 12 codes. So that's something to keep in mind of that you have to be diligent in that instance of making sure that you store your stuff and that you let somebody know where. Because if you just get hit by a semi truck tomorrow on the expressway, how is your family members or anybody who you want to know gonna know where your stuff is?
A very trusted person. Yes.
Yes, a very trusted person, of
Right.
course. Right, a very trusted person. I mean, but there's the same person to me. It's the same person that you would trust. That's your beneficiary of your
Right.
life insurance, or
Right.
whoever is going to be the trustee of your estate, or whoever is going to be the executor to manage your affairs. You know, who is that person? That's the person that you want to be able to know where your stuff is, or something where you have a system that anytime that when you pass, it sends them the information.
Right.
You know, they have those systems too where they may not have it right now, but upon your passing, you leave a particular note or something that they will receive to know where your stuff is. That's another system that people can use too that we want to
Yes.
keep in mind of. And also we want to make people aware of what are some of the scams too, Aaron? Because there's a
Nafisa,
lot of scams in this area. Yes.
before you move forward, I know we got a couple questions. I'll let Naima go first on the area you guys just covered. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. It's not a question, but I was gonna say, like, when
Okay.
people are kind of like logging on or using whatever platform, I know that a friend of mine, sent me a link to their Robinhood and was like, hey, go ahead and get some stock, as well as, go ahead and get you some Bitcoin.
Mhm.
So I have several wallets with different companies, but it's important for people also to know that when you are logged into your wallet on your computer, log out. Do not. This isn't like your Bank of America. You can leave it open and don't necessarily store your login on your computer. So that's why it's very, very important to have that external offline wallet, as Aaron was saying, the cold wallet. And it's like a little fob. It connects to your computer. You can store everything on it, but making sure that you carry that with your life. So thinking about cryptocurrency being more important than your passport. So if you know that someone can steal your identity, your passport is the highest level of security for you as an individual in anywhere in the world. So thinking of that, and then your cryptocurrency is above your passport. So that's how important it is. And for people not to be scared, just, if somebody invites you and you want to try to, there's nothing, you can lose nothing in trying to put $5 in something. Because the worst thing that you can do is put $5 in something and let it sit, right? This isn't like stock exchange where you're taking it out. Now, I know that young people, they do this. They go and, buy some money on Dogecoin, and oh my God, you know what? I got $300. I'm gonna take my money out. And so they take their money out. And then, but as in terms of like building legacy and building money, we want to make sure that you put your money in something and that it can grow. So thinking about it as if it's a tree. You just got to keep watering it, adding more seeds to it. And guess what? In 10, 15 years, like Aaron said, you may be a millionaire with millions of dollars, but it's only so much shade under that tree. So just making sure that you have the right amount of people who are going to share that tree with you, and that they know where, if something happens to you, they can find that tree of money.
Agreed.
Thanks, Naima. I actually, some of the information that you shared was answered some of the questions that I had. So thank you for that. But I just have one more question. I'm still not really clear on, like, if you put that $5 or that $10 in, how does your money actually grow?
Well, right now the money is growing through adoption. So that's the best way to say it. So with just last week, so let me go back in history. I first heard about Bitcoin when it was $10 per US dollar. Like most people, I looked at it like as a toy at the arcade video machine. Okay, whatever. And so I kind of get upset now. I run out the house now because I'm like, doggone. And I didn't say that word.
Right.
Why didn't I put 10,000 in it? Why didn't I put 1,000 in it? So I leave the house just upset sometimes, just driving like, okay, how am I going to get some more money so I can just drop it into Bitcoin, right? Outside of my normal expenses. So what it does, because of the adoption of Bitcoin, because of the large companies, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Uber, Tesla. When Tesla announced that, Elon Musk from Tesla, the CEO, when he announced that he was getting Bitcoin, it just, I think that week, this was last week or 2 weeks ago, last week, Bitcoin went up about $5,000, right?
Yeah.
So there was a guy that went to Elon Musk by the name of Michael Saylor, who is the CEO of a company called MicroStrategy. They're one of the top 4 companies in the world that have adopted Bitcoin. And this guy was is a engineer and just a real computer engineering history geek. And he talked about the history of money. So I follow this guy on the psychology of it. So all that is to say is that the psychology of Bitcoin, the adoption of it in mainstream, and the reason it's being adopted is because your banks, your insurance companies, all your major Fortune 500 companies, everybody knows Warren Buffett, who was all about buying whole stocks. He has gotten rid of some of his bank stocks and put it into Bitcoin. Robert Kiyosaki, the gentleman that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, who's big on real estate and gold, he has a show that adopts Bitcoin. So now that mainstream and people educating others about Bitcoin and the stored value, it's the adoption of it that is growing. So that $5 is only going to accumulate. So right now, today, I think it was at 57 and some change, 57,000 some change. By the end of the year, or by the summertime, it should hit 65,000. And that's going to be the benchmark where it says it's never going to drop below 65,000. So that 57,000 going to go to 100,000 before the end of the year. They're even talking about, which is unfathomable to a lot of people, that it's going to go to 500,000 per Bitcoin and even a million per Bitcoin. So when it does that, that's where the wealth is going to be created. So it's going to be more wealth than the people, like I said, that stole land. So,
so Aaron, you kind of
the adoption of it.
I think that you should maybe explain to Nefertari the number. So I think she may be able to better explain it in numbers.
Okay.
So
okay.
If one Bitcoin currently, of course, we know is worth $57,000. You put $5 in. So basically that's going to break it down to $5 is 1/115th or whatever of 57,000.
Yes.
And I'm just throwing these numbers out, but that's kind of how you would actualize it. So that $5, as Bitcoin is growing, you may not have 57,000, but whatever rate it's growing at, your $5 is also growing. So even if it is 0.15 cent of whatever Bitcoin, you're still earning 0.15 cent off of your $5.
Right.
So as Bitcoin goes up, so does your $5. So your $5 today may be $10 in 2 days. Right. And as long as you're holding the money in that specific coin, it'll go up. So then, of course, you have other coins, Dogecoin, Lithium, Litecoin, Ethereum, all of those. However, you may not be able to have, like, I think Dogecoin like last week was $125, $187. Now this week is over $280 something.
Right.
So you can still get in on a low end if you want to, actually get one coin for that particular thing. But even still, with cryptocurrency, the reason that people can make so much money is not necessarily because they can all the way afford to, at whatever coin rate it is. There's
Right.
coins right now that are 48 cents. But
Correct.
if you invest in it at any rate, you're going to make money. And when we say make money, meaning not the same way you do stocks. I'm going to pull it out, right? I'm going to buy it and then pull it out. You're thinking about investing and keeping it in so that you will have a return on your investment in the long haul. So this is a marathon. Cryptocurrency is a marathon. It's not like some people want to do it as a sprint, which is okay, but I'm encouraging people to do it as a marathon. So that's how you earn money, Nefertari. So Aaron, if you want to add something onto that.
Yes. So I'm not acting as a financial advisor. That's at this point. That's a disclaimer. And so you have to do your homework, and so we want to put that disclaimer out first.
Right.
But I do agree that you should buy and hold these cryptocurrencies. Now, there's some people, I've actually purchased a course because I'm so excited about how to trade, right? So now I can trade the Doge coins today, make $300, take that, convert it, and buy $200 in Bitcoin, buy $100 in Litecoin because of information and news that is going on. So eventually you're making $300 a day for it. So I don't want to go out to work anymore. I just want to sit home and
Trade.
I went to a course years ago called The Millionaire Mindset by T. Harv Eker. And your job now should be managing your money. And so that's where we want to get to the point of sitting home, and because it's all about time freedom and doing the things that you want to do. If you want to go to go to the golf course, or you want to go to your child's recital, you want to go to the basketball game, I want to go out of town, I want to buy some shoes, whatever. I have the time and the freedom to do whatever I want. So like Naima said, is to take money and to the appreciation and the value of it. Now, when you were talking, I thought about something. There are a lot of people in our communities that talk about interest, right? And you mentioned something. Okay, you mentioned something very, very important, and I'm going to wrap this up. So it's not interest because someone is making all the money. So when Bitcoin goes up, if I have 5% or 500 of 1%, and somebody else has 10%, we all are increasing in value at the same rate. So there's no exorbitant fees or interest being used, and no one is being taken advantage of. We all share in the growth. We all share in the minimal losses because it does go up and down. So don't be afraid of the volatility, that we all share in it alike. So that interest and so forth is good. Now, the last thing is that there's two things. There's something I want you to do your homework on. It's called staking. And if you don't know what staking is, like STAKING, that's when you take your Bitcoin and you loan your Bitcoin to companies, and they pay you a percentage for using your money. So what happens is you're not withdrawing your Bitcoin. You never have to use your Bitcoin, but you're using your Bitcoin as collateral, and you're making money on top of that money. So staking, just for y'all to understand that, look that up. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or DM me on Instagram, or shameless plug with facebook.com, Blackstone Wealth Builders. And then the little known secret is peer-to-peer crowdfunding. That way you don't have to continuously go into your pocket, right? So we're using peer-to-peer, and you crowdfund Bitcoin. That's how I look up, and I got $300 or $400. I don't even know where it comes from. So those are two things: crowdfunding Bitcoin, and staking. This is how you make money on top of your money with your Bitcoin, and the appreciation of the store value. And the last thing is that Bitcoin is being adopted as the reserve currency for everyone else. So they're moving away from their gold. They're moving away from the dollars. We can get into percentages. That's another
Right.
time. But the adoption and the appreciation of the Bitcoin. And again, I thank y'all so much.
Can you
Let me
explain
talk.
that real quick, Aaron, before you leave? Peer-to-peer crowdfunding. People may not know exactly what that means. Can you explain
Right.
that real quick before we get off?
So basically what happens is, as I mentioned before, if you have something on very nice, or you ate at a nice restaurant, you always share what you know because you're excited that it was good. In the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency space, we're all excited that money is growing or our cryptocurrency is growing. So we just tell other people. So when you tell other people, they come to you and they say, how can I do this? So you put them in certain platforms, and they get into the platforms and they crowdfund just by sharing information. And so that money is being shared with another person. Money can go to Naeem, or money can go to Nefertari. So, I know we don't have a lot of time, but this is
Mm-hmm.
how the Asians, um, they would get in a group. They would get in a group and they all put in $10,000. So everybody knows the story. They
Mm-hmm.
put in $10,000 and it shares and shares and shares. And then at the end of the year, each person gets 100,000. They open that business, and then once they get their business is up, they put another 10,000 back. Then the following month in February, somebody else gets 100,000. So all it is people growing and sharing the information. So every other group does it. We used to do it. We need to get back to it in our society, and that's what we used to do. It's I can go to so many topics and
Right.
explain it, um,
Right.
but it's just not enough time. But again, I just love to give out the information,
Right.
and I make money from I don't charge you, but I make money from giving out information. So if y'all want to know why I do it because I love it, but I also make money and I store it for Bitcoin.
Right. Well, thank you so much. I mean, there is just so much information out here, and we are just so thankful that you decided to come on our show
Thank
to
you.
share this, to give us a little taste, right? To give our audience a little taste of this whole cryptocurrency world, give everybody a little peek inside the whole cryptocurrency world. And there's just so much information. And again, you just want to get started. I would just say, just get started and learning about the information. And one place that resource that I like to give out is called 99bitcoins.com. 99, the number 99bitcoins.com. You can go to that site and you can sign up. I mean, it's free. It's free. But you sign up and they give you like 9 different lessons on the introduction to Bitcoin. So that's a resource that you can use. Again, of course, Aaron gave you his information. Blackstone Wealth Builders, you can contact him, and we'll drop this information and our contact information. You also can contact me because now entered into the cryptocurrency space. So you can contact me as well. But it's so much information out there. I do want to caution people that there also are scams out there as well. So
Oh
you
yes.
want to make sure that you do your due diligence for anything that you want to get involved in dealing with Bitcoin, that you always get some other type of verification or source before you start investing a lot of money. And also, again, as Aaron said, we're not financial advisors. None of us have our Series C, whatever, I can't remember whatever
Seven.
it is. Yeah,
Sevens.
to be licensed as a financial advisor. However, we do invest in different of these vehicles, so we're just bringing the information to you, and then you need to go out and do your own due diligence. I do want to say, in closing on Bitcoin, that even though cryptocurrency, you have all these other 2,000 plus coins, the Bitcoin, not only is it going to be the reserve that you want to make sure that you invest in, the reason why it's so powerful is because there's a limit. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever, ever, right? And right now, excuse me, there's currently 18 million that are currently in circulation. So that only leaves 3 million more Bitcoin that's going to come into circulation. When I say circulation, meaning that people can buy and sell their Bitcoin. So that's why that people are calling it the reserve, because unlike some of the other cryptocurrency coins, there is going to be a limited supply. And if you know anything about supply and demand, when there's a limited supply, but there's high demand, the prices skyrocket. So that's why you're seeing a lot of this price skyrocket. And that's why with all the coins, you want to make sure that you get your Bitcoin, because that is going to be the reserve standard about upon all the other coins that develop. They're going to have that as their foundation. So that's why I want to let people know that they definitely want to go ahead and get that so they can build that up as their reserve, and then don't sell it. People talked about trading, doing different things, but just start with that basic level, and then you can move up as you get more and more information. So we want to thank everyone for joining us today, Crown Nation, and please give us your questions. Make sure you like us on Facebook, share our information, share our show, that you subscribe to us on YouTube, and that you follow us on Instagram. I hope I got the social media stuff right this time, Naima.
Yes, that's right. And this right. To end this show with, this is where you get in, where you fit in. Okay, all right, everybody.
Right. I appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
You guys have the perfect title.
Thank you.
You have the perfect title. Yes.
Thank you.
Y'all have the crowns because you're the queens that you are.
Oh, thank you so much, Aaron.
And I'm gonna do this for the young people. Let's eat.
We love it. We love it. Eat. You know that's what they do. All right. Thank you so much, Crown Nation, and we hope y'all have a fabulous week.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.